Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Last of Us series. This is episode 7 of the first season now, and it is called Left Behind. Last episode we saw Joel and Ellie get approached by these riders on horseback. At first we weren't sure if they were friends or foes. Turns out it was Tommy's wife who led them back to the commune, and we got to see Joel have a reunion with his brother Tommy, which amongst all the heartache that has been dealt his way since this apocalypse begun, it was fucking just cool to see him have a moment with one of his family members and be thankful that someone he loves is still alive. By the way, that commune was pimped out. Those people had their shit together, they had a cinema and everything. If I was going to stay one place in the apocalypse, it would have been there. And during their time at the commune, Joel kind of had a conflict because he was doubting himself and believed that if he was to transport Ellie to this facility, he would get her killed. That is how little faith he has in himself due to his history. So he assigned the task to Tommy, something Ellie was not happy about, by the way. She's obviously struck up a bit of trust and a bond with Joel, and she doesn't want some next new person being the next escort of hers. So just before Tommy's about to leave, Joel says to Ellie, well, you should at least have a choice. She instantly throws her bag at him and is like, cool, let's go. So the team are back together after teasing them going their separate ways. Then they take this path to the facility, which is supposed to be incredibly dangerous, but they literally encounter zero trouble and make it to the facility quite safely. Unfortunately, the place had been abandoned. They didn't find the Firefly group they were looking for. They found evidence that the Fireflies had relocated, so their new game plan is to go to this new base of the Fireflies, but just as they were leaving, a small raider gang were staking out their horses and attacked them. Joel managed to get the better of the guy, but was stabbed in the stomach with a broken piece of baseball bat. Looks like a really gnarly wound, and we've already been psychologically conditioned to think that that wound equals death, because that's the same place that his daughter was shot earlier. You know, these stomach wounds so far have been pretty deadly, so they were trying to manipulate us into thinking that he may die, but I do not believe he's gonna die. I don't know how he's gonna fix himself though. He looks like he won't be able to continue without instant medical help, and where the fuck is Ellie going to find a doctor? Regardless, maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe he'll be dead as soon as this episode starts. Of course, there is only one way to find out, so let's get into it. This is episode 7, season 1, Left Behind. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. But if I was a betting man, which I am, Joel is definitely alive. I'm putting all my money on Joel living. It's double or nothing out here, and I have faith that I've made a wise choice. Oh, that wound looks so brutal.
Leave.
Shut up, Joel.
And fair play to Ellie for doing her best, keeping her calm and trying her best to help him. A lot of kids would absolutely crumble in this scenario. She's either staying here or she's going to get help. There is no other option. Thinking as Ellie for a moment, I guess her plan would be to take the horse and ride back to the commune, get Tommy and those, and get back to that place in time to save Joel. Having been born after the apocalypse, this is quite a formal looking school considering it's a post-apocalyptic one.
Your friend fights. She's not here anymore, is she?
Well, instantly fuck this bitch. Great minds think alike. Also, that's interesting because we haven't really got to see any of Ellie's backstory. We've just taken her word for everything that's happened up until the point where she met Joel. It's cool to get a little prologue for Ellie. You know you're in deep shit when your headmaster is Captain Kwong.
Just put me in the fucking hole.
I put you in the hole 3 times. It doesn't work.
What sort of fucking school has a hole? I take it they've just combined the school and prison systems to streamline things.
2 paths ahead of you. You eat shit food, you do shit jobs, you take shit orders from your patrol leader.
Okay, no offense, Mr. Principal, but the option of path 1 sounds pretty shitty.
There's the other path. You swallow this pride of yours.
Well, if someone was giving me the option between car keys and the cup, I'll take the car keys. Enjoy your cup. I'm sure you'll make a nice cup of tea with it. I'll be driving around in your car.
I care because no matter what anyone out there says or thinks, we're the only thing holding this all together.
Okay, I take it back. Captain Kwong is more considerate than any head teacher I have ever met.
There's a leader in you. And one day it could be your turn.
This is quite fitting as well, because in this moment, with Joel mortally wounded, Ellie has to step the fuck up and lead and do something to save the situation, or he will die and she will be fucking lost. I was waiting for the backstory of the joke book. Just looking at that comic and imagining it in a post-apocalyptic setting, like, think how bright and different comics were before television, when all you really had was like radio and shit, and then all of a sudden these colourful comics told these bright, incredible stories that could never be filmed at the time. I imagine the same feeling as when kids first encountered comics in real life is the feeling kids would have reading them in a post-apocalypse when there's like no more television. But they're all still movies, so you know. I take it no John Wick Blu-rays survived the apocalypse, because they were watching some 1930s shit. Where's Terminator 2? Yes, and a backstory on her love for Mortal Kombat 2. We're getting all the explanations filled in with this prologue. Who the fuck is this creeping in our room? Is this a firefly?
What is wrong with you sneaking up on me like that? It was a joke. Okay? I thought it would work better.
That is an absolutely terrible decision for a joke, but I will defend to the death your right to make the attempt. But when your joke has potential trespassing charges, I probably wouldn't tell it.
I just ran away for a bit, that's all. If you're going through some shit, you're supposed to, I don't know, talk to your best friend about it.
Where would a kid go though when they run away for a bit in this situation? Do you think she went to see the fireflies maybe?
I joined the Fireflies. Oh, fuck you.
I fucking thought so. I don't know why I assumed that's what she'd done. I just had a hunch.
Come with me for a few hours and have the best night of your life.
I've got a feeling this might be the night where all the shit goes down. I'm assuming this friend of her dies, she's bitten, the fireflies notice she doesn't turn, etc. Maybe I'm way off, but this seems like it's going to be the night where the shit goes down. I hope her friend doesn't die. I just assume any side character we meet that seems really nice is going to.
Guards? No, because Fedra's fucking stupid.
If a kid went missing for a few days, in a system as strict as this, where literally it seems like they've combined elements of prison and school, don't you think they'd interrogate her for a bit to make sure she hadn't went away and joined the Fireflies, for example? You would think an evil Hitler-esque regiment would be right on top of any deserters. We did see deserters being hung in an earlier episode as well, and that was just for leaving the quarantine zone, let alone going completely off the radar for a week. You never know where the person was.
You put Carol in the infirmary for a fucking week.
I'm just saying, you can't fight everything and everyone.
We got a couple of badasses over here.
Look at how that water trickles down those rusty mailboxes. This really is the best night of my life.
See?
Yeah.
I'm assuming actually standing there in that scenario would be shit, but actually looking at it on screen, I was just once again appreciating the set designs in this show. Everything looks so authentic.
So disgusting.
I would say in a time of mass zombie outbreaks, don't put your face right up to the dead body.
This isn't moonshine either, it's like from before.
Nice, a vintage piece. Fucking hell. I was expecting something to come up from that hole there.
It's great.
Now that's a lie, because in the other episode when Joe passed you whiskey, you said still tastes like shit. Stop trying to impress your friends.
Can I hold your gun?
They kind of made me swear not to let other people handle my sidearm.
Not to handle my sidearm.
Damn, Ellie's been getting rejected of gun ownership for a long time. It started way before Joe. Although she wilted way quicker than Joel did. Just chilling, drinking alcohol and handling guns, you know. I would tell them to watch out for raider gangs, but they seem like they would be able to out-raider the raiders.
She said she was impressed watching me sneak around, avoiding guards.
Now, of all the ways, that's a cool way to get inducted into the Fireflies. They literally appreciated your ninja abilities and recruited you on that basis.
Like, in a way, Fedra kind of holds everything together.
Of course, that is true. They are still installing some sort of order in the place, but at what cost? They're incredibly extremist. And I know this is an incredibly extreme time, but to the levels they take it, hanging people who leave the quarantine zone and shit like that, you just can't get with that. That is just a level above what is necessary, even in this time. And the evidence of that is when you go to other places such as that commune, and they don't have such extreme rule sets, but they are a thriving community.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, this is definitely just before a zombie attack. These guys are having way too much fun. This is a post-apocalypse. There has to be a zombie attack soon to keep them in check, bring their happiness down, and reinstall the misery to the show. They can't just have a great night. This is The Last of Us. They got to get fucked up at some point where you think you're having a party and not getting eaten. That's not how this show works. I mean, have you met these writers? In fact, that's a silly question, because if you had met them, you'd be in their basement dead.
You out of your fucking mind? They sealed that place up for a reason. It's full of infected.
This is the place she said she was bitten. And unfortunately, we just haven't seen her friend in the previous episodes, which leads me to believe she unfortunately meets her fate in this location.
Turns out when Fedra connected that block up to the grid, this place got connected too.
Feasibly, the mall seems like such a great place to hold it down in an apocalypse until you watch things like Dawn of the Dead and this, and then you realise it's a terrible place because you get surrounded, they eventually find a way in, and then you're just swarmed from every direction.
Are you gonna kill me? This seems like a perfect place to do it.
Oh, I'm aware.
It's true. If she was a member of the Mafia right now, Ellie would be taken two in the back of the head, and her friend would be going back to the pool hall to get made.
No one can see shit but us. Just me and you.
That would be such an incredible place to explore. If it wasn't dangerous, you would have your choice of anything from every shop and all the colours and neon you don't usually get to see.
Electric stairs?
Escalator.
Escalator?
It's crazy when you forget the things that these guys probably have never seen before. I still remember that scene of Ellie being gobsmacked at the thought of an aeroplane and saying the interior of the car was like a spaceship.
And backwards. And now I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving!
You're like a contestant on the final assault course of Gladiators. Dawn of the Wolf Part 2, not as strong as the first one, but there was definitely good moments in the second. I loved the bit where the wolves were there, the sun rose behind them. Really great stuff. They did do that scene in the first one, but in the second one I feel like they captured it from a more cinematic angle, which really emphasised the dawning that the wolves were taking part in.
Sneakers. And not soap.
Wonder how much the fucking Body Shop paid for that. They're responsible for more monkeys wearing lipstick than any company in history, and the male monkeys thank them for it. And Gap. All the shitty mall companies are getting in on this Last of Us promotion.
Shit.
That's pretty amazing. One thing these guys will probably never have experienced is like fairground or theme park stuff like roller coasters.
You're drunk.
No.
Yes.
Not yet. Give me.
I completely forgot they had a little drink of that, especially on like an apocalypse diet. You get drunk pretty quickly, I would imagine. They must be both quite tipsy now. You have to give it to the friend though. So far, she has kept her promise, and it seems like it has been one hell of a fun night. But as we all know, all good things must come to an end.
Oh, come on.
Right about now.
Did you actually think you could liberate this place?
Don't say it like it's some type of fantasy.
It's good that Ellie at least had an idea of who the Fireflies were before they captured her though, because it could have just been like they held her, made sure she didn't turn, and she had no idea who they were, and she was like, who the fuck are these people? At least she knew she was being held by that rebel group. I'm not saying it's ideal, but at least it would have calmed her more than not knowing who her captors were.
You know, you're the one thing I miss from that fucking place.
I'm starting to think her friend Moore came back to try to convince Ellie to leave with her and join the Fireflies. I don't think her friend's going to return and stay at the school.
I want a magic horse with like 1,000,000 lights. I don't know how it's supposed to get better.
Yeah, we all want a magic horse with 1,000,000 lights, Ellie, but life doesn't work like that. It's time to give up on your light horse dreams. I did a long time ago.
I came prepared.
Have you done this before?
No, idiot, I was waiting to do it with you.
We've seen so far that trade has basically retaken control, so money must be essentially meaningless now. Maybe it's just everywhere because it's meaningless, or maybe it's really rare and is still used as a replacement for trade. Not sure how the money system works just yet.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon.
Okay, sorry.
That was definitely the best pose.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay, this is fucked up. I really like her friend now. She's gonna die within the next 15 minutes. I promised myself I wouldn't let this show do this to me again. And you son of a bitch, Last of Us, you have done it to me again.
Yeah. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
If I could, I would literally make my base in the arcade. I would assume an identity like the Arcade King or something, and people would see me as an ominous character they went to for deep advice, or a little bit of Mario Kart.
Is an emergency broadcast. The Earth is being invaded by flying saucers.
Covering all grounds at the arcade, the Arcade King caters to all his subjects.
Do you have any money? No, not that useless shit.
So money has become completely worthless.
Dude!
Yeah.
Oh, is that Mortal Kombat? That sounds like Mortal Kombat. Yes! What, you think I don't know the Mortal Kombat 2 menu music? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I think they should have a humorous parallel where Sub-Zero uses the fatality where he pulls the head and spine off of the other guy's neck, just as Ellie's friend's head is torn off her shoulders by a zombie behind her. Tonally, it wouldn't match the rest of the show, but it would get a chuckle from me. Then I would look back on it in 5 minutes and think, wow, that was really out of place. That's basically ruined this entire series. Don't know why they did that.
I've been here a few times.
So you don't wait to do everything with me.
What a cheat. She snuck into the arcade a few times before Ellie just to get the upper hand at Mortal Kombat. That's the competitive spirit. Also, don't sleep on the air hockey over there. That's a fun time. Pan out of the room, into the hall. We're going to see a cordyceps zombie. Oh, look at that. A cordyceps zombie. What an unexpected surprise. That's absolutely shocking. I'll tell you what, I really hope he doesn't go into that arcade making all that noise and in some way fatally wound Ellie's friend. Nice, got the fatality with Baraka. Fuck you, Melina.
It's getting late. I have to wake up and make my bed soon.
I can feel it coming soon, so at this point I have to emotionally detach myself from the friend I've grown to like. You were cool, you're continuing to be cool, getting her gifts and shit, trying to guilt trip me. You took her to an arcade and made her play her favourite arcade. You've given her the best night possible. I commend you for all that, but we have to let you go. Rest in peace, but you're done for.
Ta-da! Volume 2.
Shut up!
Oh, what? She's the one that gives her the pun books. Stop it, Last of Us. Okay, I'm now going to try and think of a stupid reason to dislike her just so watching her die is easier. I bet she chose the shittest joke on that page. Shit joke page choosing bitch. You know what she needs? I'll tell you what she needs. She needs bitten in the neck by a deadly zombie, potentially carrying some sort of fungal infection. Oh shit, pipe bombs. Nice find.
Ellie, put it down.
Her friend can make pipe bombs. I'm increasing her chances of survival to 1% just because of the pipe bombage.
I would never let them do that.
You would never let them? Right, and you think they're gonna listen to you?
That's a fair point. If she's joined this group, she should not assume she has any sort of say as a new initiate.
They're sending me to a post in the Atlantic QC.
She's already been assigned. I assumed her ulterior motive was to try to convince Ellie to leave with her. I didn't realise she'd been assigned to some distant place though.
Tonight's my last night in Boston.
Oh, you can say that again.
Why did you bring me here?
Because I wanted to see you.
Don't try and sad me up before she dies. Don't you dare, Last of Us.
Goodbye.
Maybe I've been wrong this entire time. If they're going their separate ways, It seems like Ellie will get attacked, but her friend will just leave and go to this distant QZ, which means that she may yet be alive. The Last of Us subverts my expectations so much that I just look like a fucking idiot whenever I try and predict stuff in this show. Usually I'm quite good at it. This show just makes me look completely inept. Oh no, can't find a way out. It'd be a shame if I had an all-night Mortal Kombat 2 session.
Give me the book.
I should have known we hadn't seen The Last of Us. The pun book had not yet been handed over. The one thing outside of Tommy that has made Joel smile this entire show.
You don't know what it was like to have a family, to belong.
By that, it sounds like she's just saying she likes the Fireflies because it makes her feel like she's a part of something, not necessarily the cause that they're fighting for.
I matter to them.
You matter to me first.
True, Ellie, but you don't have the facilities to make pipe bombs, so you know, +1 Fireflies.
You're my best friend. And I'll miss you.
Fair play to Ellie for sticking to her guns and staying just because she doesn't understand what this Firefly group is all about. She's not just mindlessly going into what could be a cult for all she knows, just because her friend is. Which is a big sacrifice just to throw away your best friend. A lot of people do a lot of stupid shit because their best friends want to.
I don't get your ass up here.
Kinda looks like a Killer Clowns from Outer Space mask. Oh, I didn't realise Ellie liked her in a way more than just friends. But at least she's decided to stay and she's not just fucking off somewhere to join some random Firefly group.
Get ready to run.
Damn, her friend was ready. I don't know if the Fireflies like train people or she was just this dope before she even went there. Through the head though, the flick knife works well. It seems like the head goes soft where it gets fungal, so I guess it would be easy just to put a knife in there. So now that we've seen them survive this attack, I guess how it's going to go is they do make it to the Firefly facility, and because she assumes that Ellie is going to turn, her friend does decide to leave. But once again, thank God she didn't die. It means they may meet again one day. I mean, there's still time for her to die yet, but I've got faith she's going to live now we've seen them survive this attack. Did Ellie go anywhere? She's just hoping this house has something that'll help him. She's got to find something. That would be how you reacted if you just got wounded but you didn't get killed straight away. You'd be so furious. Well, you'd have such a mix of emotions, but I imagine that fury would be one of them, knowing you're going to turn and you tried your best but you just got nicked, and even that's going to turn you.
We just keep going.
It's over.
It will be, but not yet.
She is such a good friend, she's literally offering to just hang about with her like everything's normal until the moment she turns. And if Ellie did turn, she would be in imminent danger to her friend, and that's something her friend's willing to risk just to get to hang about with her more. Well, a needle and thread is a start. This is probably going to hurt a little bit. I don't imagine Ellie's had any prior stitching experience, but it's certainly better than dying on a shack floor. Okay, and that was episode 7 of season 1 of The Last of Us, Left Behind, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Left Behind, what did I think of that? Well, I'd like to start this review with the same sentiment I had at the end of the last one, which is there is no way Joel dies. Obviously, we saw Ellie stitching him up at the end there. Hopefully, he makes a full recovery, and I'm sure he will. It just seemed like he was losing a bit of blood, so with a quick bit of stitching, he should be okay, I think. But yeah, even if he's not fully okay, they are not killing the homie Joe off. No way. So what did I think of this episode? It was awesome. We finally got to see the prologue for Ellie. I really loved the prologue episode, the very first episode of the series, where we saw Joel's prologue basically, and how things led into the apocalypse. And they kind of did the same thing with Ellie this episode. Now obviously she was born post-apocalypse, so we never got to see her go through the ordeal of it actually beginning. We basically got to see her origin right up until the point where she was just a student in this school one minute, and then overnight her life flipped upside down, which led her on the path she was on when she encountered Joe. And thank God, at least by the end of this episode, her friend didn't actually die. As I said, I guess what would happen would be she would bring Ellie to the Firefly facility, but she would assume that Ellie is going to definitely turn into a zombie, and why wouldn't she? So she does decide to go out into this post the Fireflies want her to go to, which is tragic in its own way. Of course, nowhere near as bad if she had died in the mall, and it also gives us the hope that one day they may meet again, so it's definitely a positive outcome, especially compared to what I was expecting to happen. And not gonna lie, that looked like the funnest night anyone has had in the apocalypse so far in this show, for sure. That mall looked like such a fun place, especially for kids of their age group to just get to have free reign to explore. They went to all the best shops, the arcade, the costume shop. Ellie got a go on her favourite video game, even though her friend cheated and went there a few times without telling Ellie about it, just to get a little shot on Mortal Kombat. I see you. And I was expecting a zombie to attack, which did happen, but it definitely did not go down the way I thought it would. Her friend was alright and they dispatched the zombie, but it was more about the tragedy of them both assuming that Ellie was now doomed and is going to turn into a cordyceps zombie. And they liked each other romantically as well. It's just cool to actually see a real friend for Ellie, because she started this show seeming like such a lone wolf, almost as if she never really had a true friendship. She seemed so casual about fending for herself, but she must have got over the separation from her friend quite quickly, which again is evidence, I guess, towards the fact that her friend might still be alive, because when she first encounters Joel, she seems very rebellious and confident, certainly not someone who's scarred from just having lost their best friend. But yeah, another great episode, only 2 left to go. I'm looking forward to seeing what they throw at us next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA. Peace.